Hey, Cameron Martell with Watches You Can Afford, and I'm back with a hands-on watch review. This time something very different compared to what I've been checking out lately. Moving away from the entry-level Swiss luxury into something that's a little more customizable and affordable. This is the Vader Starter Kit from a Guard watch company. It is a modular watch, meaning that you can swap out the case, the bezel, dial, and so on with whatever you want. So readers of Watches You Can Afford may recall that I reviewed a watch about a year ago, actually, from Eldon Watch Company. And again, same ideas, interchangeable modular watches. So I connected with a Guard and asked them if they'd send me one. They sent me this, and I'm excited to show you what I think of it. Let's check it out. The whole concept behind interchangeable watches is that you can own one watch but have it look like a lot of different watches by swapping out things like the bezel, case, bracelet, and so on. So in the case of Evarii, the entire ecosystem is customizable. Every dial works with every case, every bezel with every case, and so on. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, is interchangeable or modular watches, is that really a thing, or is it kind of a gimmick? It sounds kind of gimmicky, right? Well, I mean, not really. I mean, check this out. By building your watch, if you want to go this route, select your case. In this case, yeah, let's do square. Select your dial. I like the blue and it's an automatic. Let's do that. Change the bezel out. Oh, I also like blue. Ooh, that's too much blue. Ooh, try the ridges. Yeah, that's just right. So what's nice about this is you can pick kind of whatever you want, and it's affordable too. I mean, this thing's $163. Not a lot of money to spend when you get to pick literally what your watch is going to look like. And of course, all these parts are going to work with whatever you build. So if you buy a bracelet, for example, and you decide that later on you're going to buy a new case, well, you're going to have to swap the bracelet over, but otherwise, totally fits, no issues. Thing to note is whatever dial you choose, the movement's built into the dial. You can't actually have one dial with a different movement other than what it specifies. So in this case, I picked the dark dial here. It has the PTS automatic movement inside. This is now my dial for all cases and bezels and all that kind of stuff moving forward. Putting the Vader Starter Kit together is actually pretty easy, although I did uncover a bit of a pro tip involving the bracelet. The bracelet, of course, actually is the most difficult part of this. Once you've got the bracelet on that case, it's all smooth sailing, especially because you can take that bezel on and off in a matter of seconds. But here's that tip. Check this out. All right, so since I made the decision to make my life super duper easy by popping out the links, you slide the spring bar in like this. This should be pretty straightforward from here on out now. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, and I probably should have done it with the rest of the bracelet, but you know what? That is okay. We're here now. So you put it on top like this. You pop these two spring bars down. One. I find it easier to do one at a time, to be honest, because that happens a lot. It slides around. There's nothing really to retain the spring bar in there. It would have been cool if like one side of this thing was maybe smaller than the other or whatever, but not a big deal. Not a big deal. You just gotta have a little bit of patience, which, hey, that just kind of worked all in one go. No way. It totally did. Well, there it is. So, all put together, finally, I'm going to reassemble my bracelet here and then on with the rest of the review. Haha! So, is the end result worth the effort? I'd say so. It fits comfortably, and with 4 links taken out of the bracelet, it's nice and snug, but not too tight. Pretty happy with how it all turned out. On the wrist, the Vader is a 43mm watch, so it's a little bit big. You can see it's a bit big on me here, but it actually wears, I think, a little bit smaller than 43mm normally does. I don't mind the size, which is pretty rare. Normally I complain about size, but I'm not doing so here. As you can see, I think it looks pretty good. The integrated deployant clasp in the bracelet is also pretty nice. It actually reminds me a little bit about the bracelet that came with my Jazzmaster Day date. Not quite the same quality, but very similar aesthetic. And again, the deployant clasp working just like it should, nice and sturdy. Pretty happy with that, to be honest. A pretty good value. So to wrap this thing up, should you pick up the Vader Starter Kit? Well, if you like how it looks and you like the idea of having a little bit of a project and putting it together, I think it's a pretty good buy. I like the automatic movement. Not the most accurate that I've ever had, not going to lie, but overall pretty decent. The quality of build's pretty good, and like I said, it was a little bit of fun putting this together. So if you want to see more detail or high-resolution photos, check out the full review on watchesyoucanafford.com.